Trading days, June 6th, 2015. Um, we're at a fairly important juncture, or coming up to one, in the next few weeks, so I thought I'd just do a short review here. First of all, I'd bring your attention to the February 2nd date. That was the last primary cycle, or nominal 18-week cycle low. And if you look at it, this is a good example of such a low. We'll see the 15-day simple moving average below the 45 and price below both. So that's kind of the general picture we want to see as this primary cycle trough forms over the next few weeks. Now, I also mentioned in the notes we followed this 168 trading day cycle. It topped out about the same time as the SP 500, and if we look back here on May the 20th, that was the high. I bring this up at this point because we've got some important aspects towards the end of this coming week. Mercury turning direct on June 11th, and the one I'm stressing is Neptune turning retrograde on June the 12th. Neptune retrograde is often associated with double tops and double bottoms, so we could see a bounce this coming week going into this retrograde period. It's not going to be necessarily exactly on the 12th, but we're going to watch for a potential double top or attempt at a double top around that 12th date. While I'm looking at this chart, I've talked about this brown line being the Bradley-Shremenko or adjusted Bradley indicator. And this is a good example right here where I'm pointing. We'll see that the Bradley came down, made a turn up, and at the same time the markets turned down. So this was my point I made in the notes, that a turn in the indicator, there's no polarity. That's just indicating a change in trend in price. They don't always work, which is why I don't follow this 100% of the time. But I check it once in a while. It seems to go in and out of phase. Lately it's been not too bad, so that's why we're looking at it. This went up and tops out on, say, June the 8th, which is Monday. So when it's showing here is starting to move down, the price could very well move up. And as a matter of fact, this, I'll call this little squiggle here, that's a change in the indicator. So I've been looking at the May 20th date as the top and down into the primary cycle low. This may indicate a move up and then return to back down around the June 15th date. June 15th is one day after the Sun conjuncting Mars in Gemini. That's occurring on June the 14th. That aspect is associated with large moves both up and down. I'm looking in this case for it to be down, but it needs a broad range. It's going to be, well, the orb is going to be greater than our kind of normal 2 trading days. Another aspect that is coming up this month is Jupiter trining Uranus on June the 22nd. Now, astrologers looking at that would think it's a very positive indicator, and indeed it has been associated with highs. Let me rephrase that. It's more often associated with highs, but not always. as again in the notes, I've mentioned October 1987 crash, and that indicator was right near the bottom on that crash. So we're going to have a wild, potentially a wild couple of weeks coming up. Although we may bounce, I'm looking for us to put in a primary cycle low, and we want it by July 6th to kind of stay within our rules, but let's see how we make out. Thanks for listening.